Right, let's get started, shall we? Hello everyone, by the way. Nice to see you all. Oh nice, we're getting upgrades straight off the bat. And as you can probably tell, I've not actually played since the last stream. Because all my gear's kind of broken. Samty, do you have some time to talk? I would like to gather everyone in the Dawn's Respite, and together assess the situation in which we find ourselves. Let's take stock of the facts, shall we? The crisis at hand began with the sudden appearance of ominous towers in a multitude of locations throughout the world. We have since learned that said structures were brought into being by an organisation known as the Telopheroi. The Telopheroi stated purpose is to recreate the final days of eons past, an apocalyptic event that would result in the destruction of all we hold dear. Already these towers of theirs have caused untold suffering. Countless innocents kidnapped and imprisoned, their faith perverted for primal summonings. Unless we can find a way to deal with the corruptive aura surrounding the spires, we can't get close enough to rescue anyone. Those shielded with the blessing of light seem to be able to resist being tempered at least. But after what happened to Arenvold and Fordola, we need to be very, very careful about how we proceed. Yeah, while these threats while these threats close to home are of paramount concern, we mustn't lose sight of the situation in Galwald. As you know, the Telopheroi are under the leadership of Fandaniel, and one other delightful fellow, Xenos Ye Galvas, the Crown Prince of our dear friend. To date, he's reclaimed his old body, murdered Emperor Varys, and plunged Galwald into an even deeper pit of chaos. The capital have probably seen the worst of it. For a good while there, saw the bloodiest fighting in the War of Succession. This has since changed in troubling ways. Aye, during our reconnaissance, the air was not once rent by the barking of cannons or cries of discord. It was an eerie fog of silence which did blanket that ruined city. The inhabitants appeared to have been tempered with nary a word spoken that they lived to transform the palace, into a soaring edifice born of nightmares. If they were indeed made thralls, it seems safe to assume that these events too were orchestrated by the Telopheroi. An army of primals is awfully enough, but in light of recent developments, it's only the prelude to an even greater catastrophe. We need to devise a plan we devise a means to counter this threat, and quickly, before our allies are overwhelmed. We'll find a way in Sharlayan, I'm sure of it. Master Foshenald's comments regarding the final days were curious to say the least. The Forum knows more than it's letting on. Sorry to interrupt. I've just received word from Mistress Cryle. She says that arrangements for your visit have been finalised. You're to head to Limsulum and board the next ship bound for Sharlayan. And on arrival, present yourselves as associates of the students of Baldessian, come to assist with the Order's restoration. The arrangements may be settled. What of your thoughts? I must race as to the prospect of returning home after so long. I'm eager to see it, of course. Of course. We should set off at once. And I'll accompany you to the docks. You'll need at least one person there who can wave and cry and wish you a safe journey. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Yeah, it's been like 1, maybe 2 weeks since last Final Fantasy thing I did. Oh, I forgot about that. I'll sort that after stream, it's fine. It's on till 20th anyways. There's a Halloween event then. Oh, but I don't want to get it on stream, that way I've got it recorded. Choices. Yeah, we'll get it sorted then. Actually, we'll go with the free one. We'll get this sorted, and then we'll continue with Endwalker. Yeah, I did the Christmas event, so why not? Actually, did I do the Christmas event? I'm pretty sure it was on stream, but I didn't like read anything for it. I don't think. I'm pretty sure I just skipped through all the cutscenes. Yeah. Right, first off, what's that quest? Yeah, well, I don't know why I'm doing this. Right, I'm just gonna continue with thingy. With the main story, because in my head I'm like, oh, I want to get this sorted on stream. Then I just remembered, like, the last time, the last event, I pretty much skipped through everything anyway. You're correct, this is not a hunter game. This deal that's closest. Hi Shira, by the way. How are you doing? Everyone's here, which is good. I've already paid for your passage and the fee is non-refundable. The ship to Sharlayan should be pulling into port soon, so please follow me if you and have all your luggage close at hand. Nice. I'm warm. Just really warm. I'm glad my phone's at the very least got chat working. Because the stream preview isn't.
They've almost finished loading our cargo. We should be ready to depart right on ship. Or so I'm told.
Excellent. 'Tis nice to have a smooth beginning to one's journey, at the very least.
It's funny. Master Louis Soir came here on a ship very much like this one. And now, years later, the street urchin he befriended that day is bound for his mentor's homeland. With his mentor's grandchildren, no less.
Aye. 'Tis upon reflection that every twist of time's river and fate's winds are brought into sharp relief. Thou hast matured much in the intervening years. Wert thou not caught attempting to relieve Master Louis Soir of his purse scant moments after he made landfall upon this dock?
Oh, really? Now that's a tale I'd like to hear.
Poor
Will this be
thing,
your
Chris.
first visit to Sharlayan, Sir Estinian?
I'll just bully him.
Sir Estinian?
Are we strangers newly met? Why this stiff formality?
I, merely meant it as a professional courtesy, since we are now colleagues in an official sense.
I'd rather you dispense with the sirs, especially in private company. Or I'll be forced to respond in kind, little Lord Alphino.
You've made your point, Estinian. Painfully well.
Better.
Just brutally murdered the bollard.
Are you all right, Tataru? You seem positively distraught.
Distraught? Me? Don't be silly. I think it's lovely that they get to see their homeland. It's just, we're trying to thwart the schemes of an army hell-bent on destroying the world.
Again.
And, once again, I have to stay behind and worry that this is the last time I'll get to see my friends.
I'll bring him back safe and sound. The day before, and that was another world.
I'll hold you to that.
I've got a feeling I shouldn't have said that.
You're still here.
Hori! Coulternay! What brings you all this way?
We're to assist the Maelstrom and the Kobolds with a lunar primal operation, so we thought we'd see you off before heading to the tower. Flamine and the others wish you all a safe journey, and promise that they'll look after things here until you return. We will too, of course. Aye, we your fellow Scions of the Seventh Dawn will do our part to ensure the end of the world won't happen on our watch.
We set the sail! All aboard for Sharlayan! It's time.
Then we must delay no longer. We will contact you the moment we learn aught of value. Wish us luck.
Have a safe journey, and please, be careful.
Yeah, she said that she was gonna cry and wave. She's not cried or waved.
And so you venture forth unto the unknown. A fate beyond the horizon that cannot be divined. A
future undefined and in flux. In uncertain times, naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice. That which lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end. Treasure every moment, every step of your descent. And there, in the depths where souls and stars rest, find your truth.
Okay. It's not ominous at all.
Here. Feel. Think.
So it's just constantly getting broadcast anyway.
The day has barely dawned, my fellow earlier riser. Though we're hardly alone in that. Envious of those still sleeping soundly, no doubt. Called out to you, you say? I've heard nothing myself. In any case, I dare say the sea air will do you good. Why not join the others on deck? Sharlayan should be coming into view at any moment.
Isn't it really strange that it's got like the soul effect from Final Fantasy X?
My voice yet reaches you. I am glad. Hear, feel, think. And thus do we meet face to face at last, my warrior of light, guided by the crystal.
Alright. Why now?
After your sojourn in the First, I believe you have your answer. You have gained an understanding of what I truly am, what Heidelin has always been, a primal. Vidiarch was created to forestall the apocalypse which threatened the ancient world, and I was brought forth to bind him. Yet 7 times now, those who would orchestrate a return to that bygone era have rejoined a shard to the god I had sundered. The greater his strength grows, the swifter does mine own diminish. The power to draw your mind into the rift betwixt is no longer mine to wield. Yet though it taxes me sorely, I dare not leave these words unsaid. Even bereft of my guidance, you and your companions have accepted the burden of this star's troubled past. A conjunction has begun to form, an intertwining of your time and mine. Wheels shudder and turn. Conflict looms. Monumental, which will decide the fate of this world and all life upon it. When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
Cast your peepers to the fore, folks! Sharlayan's just over yonder.
I will not keep you further. Your traveler's heart must yearn to behold this unfamiliar land. We shall meet again, and soon.
Alrighty. Hi, Cammy. Yeah, I do like answers. It concerns me a little bit sometimes, but I do like it.
Oh, what a fine morning. Oh, still a bit stiff though.
And a good morning to you too. Taken a look at the island already?
Then let's go. Let's go. Might still be room in the prow if we're lucky.
Ah, the sleepers have arisen. There she is. Good old Sharlayan.
Oh, I see it.
Home. Home at last. Well, maybe not in Father's eyes, but we'll manage on our own, if we must.
You do know we're not alone in this, don't you? Indeed, 'tis as Sir Estinian said. Forget not the comrades who boarded this ship at your side. I pray.
Thank you, my friends. We are ever grateful for your steadfast support.
Upon arrival, we will be disembarking into the heart of Sharlayan proper. There is no greater concentration of wisdom in all the world. I am confident that somewhere within that center of knowledge and learning, we will find the answers we seek.
One can only hope. What's the moon doing up there? Get out of it, you.
Sharlayan, the solitary island nation of the northern seas. Where under the watchful gaze of Thaliak, patron deity of scholars, academics hoard all manner of knowledge and secrets. Once, they deigned to accept foreign students into a distant colony maintained in the Dravanian hinterlands. How swiftly they abandoned it once the first Garlean boot set hostile foot on Ala-Negan soil. So averse to the prosecution of war, these men of wisdom, your would-be allies.
I thought they'd never let us off the ship. What's next then? Entry applications?
Hopefully they find no cause to deny us.
Hasn't Sharlayan all but severed relations with foreign powers? Those of us without direct ties, myself included, may be refused outright.
'Tis true that, as a nation, Sharlayan only forms trade agreements with a select few neutral countries. But from a practical standpoint, an island cannot afford to be overly strict with its borders. Especially not if that island's people are wholly devoted to the accumulation of knowledge. If one submits the proper paperwork, with satisfactory evidence of identity and intent, then foreigners may be granted entry.
May.
Quite. So let us be absolutely clear on these points before we proceed. The immigration officer will ask for your affiliation and your purpose of visit. Considering Sharlayan's views on intervention, I strongly suggest we avoid any mention of the Scions. Crown has laid the groundwork for us to act as associates of the students of Baldessian, and our ostensible reason for being here is to aid in their order's restoration. Brahatir, it might expedite our progress should an actual student be seen at the head of our little group. Would you mind leading the way?
Of course. The immigration officers were this way. Shall we?
It's me and the Stinian trailing at the back. Just like,
Greetings.
oh, the other
We've just
one's not
arrived
from
and
me.
are eager to make our way into the city. Would you be so kind as to process our entry applications?
Certainly. I see by your mark you are an Archon.
I am. Brahat here of the students of Baldessian at your service. I was assigned to an Eorzean survey team, but have returned to assist with the reformation of my order. My associates here will provide additional support.
Very good. I have paperwork detailing your group and its scheduled arrival for today. And it seems some few of your companions are also Archons. If you'll step forward, we can process those applications first.
Ishtola rule.
See how it glows. That list is etherically linked with a citizen registry kept in the main repository.
I've confirmed your status as Archons and amended your travel records accordingly. Welcome home. Now, who do we have here?
no Leveilleur.
And Alizé Leveilleur.
Your applications have also been approved. Having said that, the streets are abuzz with talk of how House Leveilleur's lord disowned his young progeny. And while such personal circumstances constitute no reason to deny you entry, I urge you to avoid exacerbating your present situation. Times are quite troubled enough already.
We shall keep that in mind.
These last two are not Sharlayan natives, but you will find their credentials are in order. An application was made in advance.
Name and occupation?
Shall I say adventurer by trade or champion of Eorzea? Champion of Eorzea.
And it is a title well earned, I can assure you.
An adventurer by trade is what your documentation indicates. No mention of this particular title. Self-appointed, I take it.
Darn.
Either way, your employer seems willing to vouch for your character, so I shall, albeit reluctantly, grant you entry. Champion.
Yeah.
And you, sir?
Justinian Varlin, formerly of the Order of the Knights Dragoon in Ishgard.
Formally, at least. And what, pray tell, is your profession now?
If you'll allow me... My associate is a mercenary, hired for his strength at arms. Surely you are aware of the dangers we often face on our forays into the wilderness.
Mistress Baldessian, if you insist on sponsoring his entry, then so be it. But while I appreciate that desperate times call for desperate measures, I find your choice of company concerning. Be advised that even a single misstep may have severe repercussions for your organization.
I have every confidence in my chosen company, dear and trusted comrades that they are. But I thank you for your concern.
Croyle, it is good to see you.
Likewise. Long voyage notwithstanding, you will seem none the worse for wear. There is much to discuss, but this is hardly the place. Let's be on our way, shall we?
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the new quest sound.
Oh! Welcome, friends, to Sharlayan.
As your mercenary, I should hope my welcome includes a generous salary.
Well, I had to say something, Sir Taciturn.
Yeah, the Heaven's Ward one was really good. Glad I spotted your ship coming into port. The officers are born bureaucrats and sticklers for detail. In any case, you may relax and take a moment to get your land legs back. Yeah, I don't think I like it. I'd thought to launch directly into an explanation of what I've learned and how we might proceed. Have fun, Shira. But this is Samtadi and the Stinian's first time in Sharlayan. And for the rest of you, a homecoming that was long overdue. Must have places you wish to visit and people you're dying to see. Therefore, I propose we postpone our agenda so that you may all have sufficient time to recover from your journey and get your bearings in the city. Once you've settled in, we can reconvene at the Baldessian Annex. How does that sound? It is a fine suggestion. We may not be welcome at the Levier estate as such, but I should like to nose around the neighbourhood all the same. I am equally untethered, as it were. I have no particular place that my kin call home. So I would not pass up the opportunity to reacquaint myself with the city. Likewise, a quick tour of our old haunts might even yield some useful gossip. The annex was west of the Aetheryte Plaza, wasn't it? I shall join you there anon. Yes, we'll see you there. I too have places I would not be remiss in visiting forthwith. By thy leave. What of you, Estinian? My services as a guide are yours for the asking. That won't be necessary. Until we reconvene, I plan to wander where the wind takes me. I'll get my words out eventually. But I could... Oh. Well, Raha, would you like to join us then? Been gone for quite a while. This would be the perfect way to refresh those dusty old memories of yours. Oh, of course, if you'll have me. Come, Sharlayan awaits. Alright, before anything, what does the weapon look like? Yeah, I actually like that, just for the simple fact. Yeah, it's a little twinkly effect when you draw it. Okay. After you, my friend. I'm all content to follow your lead. Rahatia is now accompanying you. Keep him at your side in order to proceed with the quest objectives. Oh no. All set, then let's be on our way. Our first stop, amusingly enough, will be the last stand. It's a cafe on the west side of the harbour. Right, okay. I don't like this feature. Discuss the giant statue. Now that's a sight one could hardly forget. The great statue of Thaliak. As a student of Baldessian, I was usually quartered on the Isle of Val. I would gaze upon the scholar's wise features every time I returned to the by ship to the city. This path leading out to the sea is known as the Thaliac Stoa, so named for the statue of the scholar which stands at its end. Let you know that Sharlayan people prize the accumulation of wisdom above all else. Thus, when Thaliac was chosen as a patron deity, it was more a matter of pragmatism than belief, alignment of principles, as it were. We may have honoured him with rather impressive sculpture, yes, but our faith is not so restricted as that of, say, the Ishgardians. Individual Sharlayans can and do worship the divinities of their choosing. Nice. Well, good luck. And here we are, the last stand. I may have mentioned this before, but although our research into nutrition and food preparation is quite extensive, average Sharlayan tends to regard seasoning and flavour with a certain indifference. How can I put this? The food is, it's bland. As encapsulated by our infamous Archon loaf, the prevailing sentiment towards cuisine is dietary value first, and a taste a distant second. There was one pupil at the studium, however, who could stomach the school's insipid meals no longer, so he quit his lessons and poured all his savings into building a proper eatery. So the last stand came to be. It is, as the name implies, the sole dedicated outpost of fine dining in Sharlayan, the one and only bastion of the culinary arts, in an isle of otherwise mediocre fare. I seem to recall their burger being held as one of the more impressive items on the menu. Not that I ever had the pleasure of eating one myself. Because you were a typical Sharlayan when it came to cheap and convenient. Raha. But surely Tataru has since taught you how to appreciate a well-prepared dish. We shall stop in when time permits, sample the cafe's delights. Shall we press on? Stairs to the side of the cafe will take us up to the Aetheryte Plaza. Now, you say Apex Wrath, do you mean Rathalos, Rathian? There's a couple of Wraths. Could be either. Haha, now they can never keep me out of Sharlayan. I can teleport back in. The Aetheryte is different from how I remember. It does look a bit weird, not gonna lie. An unusual shape, isn't it? I assure you, however, it's a perfectly functioning Aetheryte. Remember to attune yourself before we move on. Now, being the diligent tour guide that I am, I should make mention of the Confluence, a research facility located on this very plaza. Its much vaunted discoveries are the reason Sharlayan stands at the forefront of teleportation technology. In deciphering the underlying principles of elegant Aetherites, it allowed us to understand and reconstruct what is essentially a lost art. And off we go to our next destination. Our path leads northeast to the Agora, Sharlayan's largest marketplace. Yeah, but before we actually do that, I just need to do this before I forget about it. Nope, not you, not you. You don't have anything. Look at that armor set. That's a good armor set. I'm also going to want to visit vendors, because my inventory is quite full. Just useless junk. Sorry about that. I'll do a nice quick little repair as well. Do you have anything to say about here? No. Welcome to the Agora. You can find wares made in Sharlayan, as well as a wide selection of imported goods. They also used to sell questionable prototypes from the various research institutes. I think that practice has thankfully died out, for the most part. Otherwise, I can think of no better place to stock up for your next big adventure. Am I overselling it? On a more serious note, the next stop should be the next stop on our tour is one which has particular relevance on our ultimate purpose here. We must head up to the Aetheryte Plaza, follow the path north, then climb the stairs up to that imposing building at the very top. Alright, up we go. Do they stay up, keep up on the sprint? They do, good. That means I'm not going to be stuck running like kind of slow so they can actually keep up. These little decorative features are typical of Sharlayan architecture. Aside from the research wing, our headquarters on the Isle of Val were rather simple and rustic by comparison. This is an infame, an area dedicated to the blessings of water. For Sharlayans, water represents more than life-sustaining liquid. It's a reminder of the great flood which precipitated the birth of our nation, as well as a symbol for the knowledge which flows from Thaliak's divine era. Divine era? This is the reason you see an abundance of fountains throughout the city. Propensity for utilizing water as a decorative feature in our architecture. I can speak. I can see. I can fight. The grand structure before you is the rostra. The name refers to the original public platform erected here, upon which a forum of elected representatives would deliver orations of public policy. Debate policy even. Although the stage has since evolved into council chambers, the nature of the forum and the duties of its members remain largely unchanged. Am I boring you, Raha? You seem awfully distracted. My apologies. From here one can see the entire city spread out below. The vista put me in mind of my arrival in the first. Those who had gathered at the Crystal Tower asked me how they might go about building a new home. Naturally, my answers were all inspired by my knowledge of the finest settlement I can think of, the great city of Sharlayan. And bit by bit, those few buildings grew into town, a community, a Crystarium. You can almost see its echo. Not quite. I see. Feel free to come up here whenever you wish. I don't think the councillors would object to you simply enjoying the view. Which memories should be treasured. For now, however, the tour must go on. Our spectacle of sightseeing concludes with the fittingly named Journey's End. Walk down the stairs to the east and continue straight ahead. Yeah, it doesn't look much like the Crystarium. so then. Alright. We've arrived at Journey's End. History tells us that this was where those who put ashore with Archon Mooncrypt built their first homes. In the present day, it serves as a residential district for the most important officials and the oldest Sharlayan families. You'll see that one mansion is clearly larger than its neighbours. That estate belongs to our friends from House Levier. All things considered, we should probably keep our distance for the time being. And with that, we bring our little Sharlayan tour to a close. I hope it has proven to be an entertaining and enlightening experience. Now, should we head directly to the Baldessian Annex? You remember the way, don't you, Raha? Let me think. We head down towards the harbour, cross the bridge to the right, then follow the path below the Aetheryte Plaza? Correct. After you, Samtity. Meow. Now then, luckily, I remember people complaining about this quest. So I know not to teleport to the Aetheryte. Before I actually do that, I'm going to make sure I pick up this, because I'm pretty sure I missed one over the other side as well. Yeah, I've missed one there. One over there. Eesh. Rathalos? Eesh. Rather you than me. There's a joyous look on Raha's face has undoubtedly informed you this is the Baldessian Annex. Continue up the hill, you arrive on the doorsteps of the phenomenon. But I think we've explored enough for one day. We'll take you there another time. Inside with you then. I'm back. I brought Samtity and Raha with me. Ah, you were right about the ship then. Hello, Graha. It's nice to see you again. And it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Samtity. I've heard many a tale of your exploits. Oshika? Oshika's Sunjika? It's been an age. Allow me to introduce Oshika Sunjika, Administration Officer of the Students of Baldessian. He oversees the day-to-day business of the Annex. The Champion of Eorzea has featured prominently in Kryl and Graha's reports, so for me, this is akin to seeing a fabled hero come to life. It's an honour to make your acquaintance. Sorry, I kinda zoned out for a second though. This place is like a second home for the students. The Isle of Val served as our main headquarters, of course, but we had often had occasion to visit Sharlayan, whether to make use of the city's research facilities, attend conferences, or procure supplies from distant shores. The annex here was built to provide lodgings for our members while we engaged in such activities. Ever since our former headquarters, along with the isle itself, vanished, the annex has served as our base of operations. Yet it feels so empty. With many lost to us, our organisation is a shell of its former self. The day will come when we will see the students rise again. But first, we must ensure that the Telephorai fall. Through that door to the left is a main hall where we can discuss our options moving forward. Thanks, I hadn't seen it. Once everyone arrives, that is. You'll probably have time to rest before our discussions begin in earnest. I've had private quarters prepared for you in the Andron, so please feel free to make yourself at home. Ah, the nap rooms. Perfect for an afternoon doze. Okay, so this will essentially function as the inn, I take it. Oh, I don't mean to give you the wrong impression. The chambers are quite well appointed. For more than, far more so than some cheap roadside inn, you may be assured. It was simply that we were often so busy with research or exhausted from journeys abroad that we would slip into the Andon just to steal a few winks. And thus they became known amongst the students as nap rooms. Even if many such naps make us well into the morning. Say the word and I'll be happy to show you to your chamber. Hopefully the others won't be too long in coming. I'll wait for you all in the main hall. So yeah, this is essentially our inn room. Nice. Feeling refreshed and alert? Our colleagues should be wandering in soon. So I suggest we stay here and wait for them to join us.
Pray forgive me. I was delayed.
It's fine, Moriange. We're all here now. Let's get down to business then, shall we? Come what may, we must prevent the Telophoroi's plans from coming to fruition. At present, I see two paths for gathering the information which may aid us in achieving that goal. The first involves an investigation into the change which has come over Sharlayan, not to mention the recent inscrutable behavior of the Forum. As most of you know, the 99 members of the Forum are elected from the general populace. This alone guarantees a plethora of opinion with regards to foreign policy. The bibliotheques, for example, are a group of conservatives which would have Sharlayan focus on recording history, while remaining entirely uninvolved in the making of it. And at the other extreme, we have advocates for proactive diplomacy and direct intervention. My grandfather Galef was one such member, as was Archon Louisois. Yet despite our diverse factions and philosophies, the recent vote to deny Eorzea's request for assistance was unanimous. Even more concerning was the fact that many cited other, more pressing duties as justification for their recalcitrance.
Fortuno's refusal in Gridania had those same undertones. 'Twas as if, having stared unblinking into the face of impending doom, it simply turned away to pursue something more important. But what could that possibly be?
A mystery indeed, and one which I ask for your help to solve. Our future may depend on it. As for our second potential path, it concerns a request made directly to the students of Baldesion. Our organization was founded primarily to study strange and unexplained phenomena the world over. Mysterious relics and ruins, arcane disturbances, and so forth.
Okay, so little brainwave here. What if the folks at Sharlayan, the reason that they're not so fussed about the potential world ending is because they're going to try to recreate what the Asians did. They're going to, like, they know something's coming, but they're going to try and summon something in to try and prevent the bad stuff.
Compared to our more isolationist Sharlayan colleagues, we have strong connections overseas, namely with scholars and academics who share our passion for the unknown. The request in question comes from one such acquaintance, Nidana, an alchemist residing in distant Favner. Her missive describes the sudden appearance of a tower and the subsequent summoning of what I can only assume is a lunar primal. In response to this threat, the satrap of Radzat-Han, the individual who governs the city-state, has instructed the alchemists to find a means to deal with the spy.
The artisans of that land are heirs to an ancient tradition, one rather unlike that of their Uldan counterparts. It is possible, nay, probable, that they have gleaned truths unattainable by Eorzea or her Far Eastern allies.
They do, in fact, appear to have a strategy in mind, though it will require further research. To that end, they have requested an introduction to a capable warrior shielded by the blessing of light.
Assuming we divide our forces to pursue both of Kral's lines of inquiry, then having you join the group heading to Thavner would seem the obvious choice. But the investigation in Sharlayan is of vital importance as well. Equal, I think, to the Thavnarian one, given that the fate of the world may hinge on the results of both.
Yes, it is quite the quandary. Though it is a great imposition and an altogether too common one, our efforts would be more likely to succeed were you to lead the charge on both fronts. You are indeed our champion. As to which task to tackle first, we will defer to your decision. Let us next decide how everyone else might best be assigned. As for myself, I shall continue what I've begun in Sharlayan. I should also like to steal the services of an Archon or two.
And thereby gain access to a greater range of reading material. I will help with that.
Allow me to offer my assistance. I have some small amount of experience in the field of research.
Alice and I would also like to help, if you would have us.
Anything to understand even a fraction of what our father and the Forum might be thinking.
Of course, the more the merrier.
Right. The rest of us will make the journey to Thavner. Thoughts? Objection?
Thoughts? Objection.
I passed through Thavner on my way to infiltrate the Empire, and though I'm not qualified to give a guided tour, I did gain a sense of where things lie.
Nice, nice. Next you just need to take out Zen.
I'll be happy to have you along then. So for this group, it will be you, me, and Urianger.
Give me a moment afterwards, and I'll supply you with all the details of Nidana's request. Consider this hall our rendezvous point once our respective tasks are complete. May our investigations prove fruitful.
Right, this is going to set the theme for the armour and whether I just straight up transmog it out or if we leave it a bit. Never mind, it won't. Right, where is it? Gadget skin. More importantly, where is it? Oh, it's there. Not gonna lie, don't plan on using it. A hunter must hunt. I have Kral's instructions in hand. You're ready to set out, and so are we. Having been through Thavner before, I could travel by Aetheryte, but what of the rest of you? Another sea voyage would waste time we do not have. Kral was of the same mind, and has already secured the aid of good folk of the Confluence. We'll take ourselves there. The Confluence, thou sayest? I'm afraid so, my friend. I would recall the hunt for Ice Heart, unto whose sanctuary we delivered thee, owing to the knowledge of our comrade Mimbrida. Mimbrida was an authority on aetherology, a field of study she did embark upon in the pursuit of her parents' example. Both are authorities in their own right. Both are researchers at the Confluence. Haven't you gone to see them yet? I attempted to do so earlier, but to my shame my courage failed me at the last. As it hath the many times I thought to reach out to them after sending that fateful letter. Neither time nor introspection have revealed unto me the words I should speak, and thus I have kept my silence. Whether you come with us or no, it's your choice and yours alone. If it is too difficult, we'll manage. Thou art kind to say so, but I have no intention of forsaking our cause. I shall go to the Confluence, and I shall face that which hath long been overdue. If it's settled, then let's be off. When we arrive, we should look for a researcher named Keat. I'll leave that one until later. Like, I'll come back, hand this one in, and they'll head out from growing. Might as well go with the shiny new, new area first. It's all new, but you know we're presently in Sharlayan, so this one will be new. Oh, floppy-eared bun bun, floppy-eared bun bun, floppy-eared bun bun. Sorry. I saw a floppy-eared bun bun. I don't know if you noticed. Well now, this is a rather lot of stern faces. Are my library books overdue again? Not to our knowledge, we're associates of Kral and students of Baldessian. We seek passage to Thavner and understand that you can assist us. Ah, the test subjects. Welcome. Test subjects? Oh, you hadn't heard? Well then, allow me to explain. So, in order to travel to an Aetheryte, ordinarily you have to be attuned to it beforehand. Otherwise, you can't use it as a beacon to seek out while you're a mass of ether hurtling along in the livestream. An inconvenient yet incontrovertible limitation of an Aetheryte teleportation. But what if I were to tell you there's a way to travel to an Aetheryte without being attuned to it? A way to teleport instantly to places you've never been. For long years we've laboured to make such travel possible, that only people might move about more freely. And we've finally done it. We've created a new kind of aetheryte that doesn't require attunement. Truly, that changes everything. Well, my language might be a bit misleading. The user need not attune to these aetherytes, but aetherytes themselves must have been pre-attuned to each other, thereby facilitating travel between the 2 points. But it just so happens that our first test pair of aetherytes, one has been installed here in Sharlayan and the other in Yedlimad, a port town in Thevner. As you may know, our nation has long maintained strong ties with Radzatan, and indeed we owe much of this breakthrough to the contributions of their alchemists. To sum it up, we're to test these aetherytes. How fortuitous for you. I should mention that an accident has impaired my ability to channel ether. Will this be a problem? Not at all. As a matter of fact, you might say these aetherytes were made for people like your good self. The magic's imbued with whisk you away without any effort on your part. A veritable dream come true. And far be it from me to worry about such things. But do we have permission to make use of your shiny new invention? Well, the permission required is yours, so I'm assuming you're willing. Assuming you're willing, we're all set. Well, as Eileen the Crow once said, a hunter must hunt. It may come as a surprise, but we actually struggle to find test subjects. Most people seem to have an unreasonable fear of their souls gradually disintegrating as they drift helpless in the life stream, in the statistically unlikely event that something goes awry. But it's plain to me that you aren't most people. Mistress Kryle truly knows how to pick 'em. If I might change the subject, are Master Wolfson and Mistress Blovida not present today? Oh, you didn't hear? They've recently resigned their posts. Their expertise was needed elsewhere. A large-scale project helmed by the Forum itself, as I understand. But I'm not privy to the details. I see. Any other questions? No? Then let's get going before you change your minds. Please, see to your preparations and head outside to the Aetheryte Plaza. I'll be along shortly. So that's going to be a conversation that'll probably make me cry later on. Because Orianjo will probably feel really bad about not being able to keep her safe.
I'm already attuned to the crystal in Thavnir.
You are? Oh. I would have preferred more test subjects. Oh, well, never mind. If our 3 travellers could line up here, please?
Quickly exit away.
Yes, right there is fine. Take a deep breath, and I'll soon have you soaring through the ether.
Through the ether.
you might experience a teensy-weensy touch of violent ethereal sickness. Good luck!
What?
So that happened. Teensy weensy bit of a violent ethereal sickness. Good lord. I mean, at least we landed there. That's good. Yep, those two are alright.
Thavne, home to city-state Rod's Al-Han.
Oh, that'll
Rising
probably be
from
the tower that went
waters of the bounty, this
of this
island
con.
of plenty
Oh, I suppose it
served
might
as
be
the
over this side.
battleground for a conflict between two peoples. Their cultures bled into one another until a unique amalgamation was distilled from the chaos, in a process not unlike their precious alchemy. Once solidified as a single nation, an adamant stance of neutrality would hold invaders at bay for a time. Now across this vibrant isle creeps a fog of malice. What choice do you have? What chance? Against such an insidious foe.
I mean, it had a real negative effect, but it worked.
Seen fairer faces after a bout of bad shellfish. Let me bring you something to drink. Should help settle your bellies.
There was a note with Kryle's instructions. Don't let Estinian roam the markets alone. He's alarmingly bad with coin.
Is this a job for me? Am I going to have to go stop Estinian wasting like millions and millions and millions of gil? Oh, Estinian. Don't do it. Don't do it, Estinian. You there. I need 3 drinks. Something that helps with the aether sickness. By Manus here. A traveller. I mean, greetings. Greetings and welcome. You're wise, good sir, to come to me. My special amralasi, made with only the finest and freshest ingredients, is famed for calming unruly bellies. By way of a warm welcome to Thavne, I'm pleased to offer it to you for the low, low price of 19,800 gil. Not for one, not two, but 3 bottles. A bargain amongst bargains. The price is high with robbery. Wouldn't say so much to Estinian, but you realize any words of warning you cry out could be accompanied by your last meal. You must stand before Estinian and, using gestures, deny that the deal is fair. Deny. No. I thought you could barely stand. Do you need to tell me that's so urgent? Wait, I shouldn't buy the lassie. The merchant is swindling me. Ah. Sincerest apologies, sir, but I paid to have my price is confused. It's actually 1,890 gil for the 3 bottles of lassie. That confusion would have been quite costly for both of us. Very well then, you're coined. Here, a bottle for each of you. Take them to the others and get some rest. I'll be back after I've explored the town. I'm amazed that we're not getting slapped with the ether sickness on the way back. Oh, I suppose we drank one there and then. Praise be to the 12. My stomach doth loosen its death grip. My heartfelt thanks to thee and Estinian, and to the fine fruits of this land. You were in time? Excellent. We suspect it's Tatara's wrath. Sweet, sweet release. If you haven't already, you should have yours too. Right. I'm ready to get on with it. At last he truly works wonders. Back on your feet, I see. Thy hair. I have bound it. It's the most I could do against the heat, short of shedding my armour. May I ask where you got the cord for it? A local vendor. The man said it was Thevner weave. Tough and not easily unravelled. And how much did it cost? 9,400 gil. A steel, I was told. There's nothing fancy, but I've always valued function over form. That's incredible. I dare say not even Alphino could hold a candle to you. It's not common for merchants that the price is high, but doesn't this seem weird? I am inclined to agree with thine assessment. It doth seem excessive, unusually so. Claiming Thavner as its dominion, the nation of Radzatan hath long thrived as a hub of commerce. In the beginning there was an Arcasad. Oh god, my brain's melting. In the beginning, there were the Arksodara, a Ratanga tribe indigenous to this island. Over time, they came to be joined by other races, and through their intermingling culture and rich and and through their mingling and a culture rich and distinct did emerge. From alchemy to textiles, the products of Hannish culture have come to be celebrated and coveted the world over. Development only aided by the nation's prime location as a waypoint twixt east and west. Hey, you've got it fine, Shira. You've got it fine. All of this hath combined into a trading power of Radz-at-Han. Yet such a status cannot be taken for granted. Nay, it must needs be maintained through judicious governance and stringent regulation. Neither of which I see any evidence. Given that the merchants at the gateway town are free to fleece hapless travellers and tarnish the reputation of the nation at large. Just so. But opportunistic pricing is rampant, doth suggest that oversight is much weakened. All may happen that the people have fallen upon hard times. Whichever the truth may be, it would be prudent to ascertain the current state of affairs. Prudent and practical, aye. But we've not to lose by learning more. So, ere we seek out Kral's acquaintance, shall we see what information we can gather in Yedlimut? Excellent. We didn't exactly get off to a flying start, but we'll make up for it. Right, let's split up and make inquiries in town. Semtedy, the pier is yours. Once we've learned what we can regroup by the Aetheryte. Off-putting though the mere sight of it may be. Oh, they're on their quest right now. They've got to go over this way. Getting knocked out by the ether sickness. Cool. The crate is laden with fruits. They're on the verge of spoiling if they've been left too long. Gazing out from the pier, you spy boats moored off nearby islands. The silhouettes of larger seafaring vessels farther away. Compared to the other ports you've visited in the past, there appears to be very little activity. What am I doing? Oh, recording my sails. Still do have the daily habit, though I don't know why I bother. Hardly anything sells these days. Business has never been so this terrible. But I suppose things could be even worse. We could have a consortium to keep afloat like Kalzal. I don't envy his position. Better to be alone with my operation. With my little operation, I've come to realise. You're a traveller by the looks of you. If you have a moment, perhaps you could pay Kalzal a visit. I'd be glad of tidings from abroad. Like as not, you'll find him at the Saltwind Sails. The Harbour Guild building across the water from here. So probably this one over here. Well now, if this isn't a traveller, you're a rare sight in these unsettled times. People have been giving us a wide berth since that accursed tower suddenly appeared in Naruna. If it just stood there looming ominously, perhaps things would be fine after a fashion, but no. They had to spawn fell fiends as well. We still have our lives thanks to thanks to the Radiant Host. But business is good as dead. What will become of us, only the gods know. Oh, maybe it's this building. You see, when they say across the water, I was thinking like across the water, not like across the little stream that they've got on the beach. Rip. All I can really say to that, Shiro, just rip. Dalmascans aren't coming. We already have everything they ordered. What am I supposed to do with it? I don't know, but yelling at me isn't going to help. All I know is that plans have changed, and that's that. Look, you must have known this might happen. The Empire is at war with itself, and the provinces are in chaos. And there's a tower sitting on our doorstep spitting out monstrosities. The city has its defences, but we've been afforded no protection out here. Can't blame foreigners for not wanting to take the risk. Gab, this will be an enormous loss. Alright. Forget about the Dalmascan. Surely some ships are still coming. We have fresh produce, handicrafts, medicines, all the perennial Hannish favourites. Our consortium works closely with merchants and artisans to supply only the finest wares. Quality is guaranteed. I know all these things, Kalzal. I do. So I regret to say I have nothing for you. All voyages have been cancelled or indefinitely postponed. And you are? Wait, you're a foreigner, are you not? A merchant? Please tell me you're a merchant. I see. That's a shame. I'm sorry, but we're discussing important matters. If you need something, please talk to one of the others. Excuse me. Oh. That's a very soft voice for that guy. But my main name is Matsya. I'm here to see Kalzal. Oh, it seems he's busy. I'll come back later then. I'm standing over there just looking off into the sea. Yes? Can I help? Ah, I remember seeing you back in the guild. You wanted to speak with Kalzal too, did you? I'm Matsya, a fisher of Kiali, a nearby village. I sell my catch to Kalzal, who offers it to foreign merchants, but he hasn't bought anything for a while now. When I heard the consortium has been struggling, I became worried and decided to come and see him. Just as soon as he's free, anyway. He's a hard-working man, and I dare not disturb him. If I may ask, what is it that you do? An adventurer, you say? You travel the world helping people. Then that must mean you're great at dealing with strangers. Please, won't you teach me to be like you? You see, I've brought some fresh fish with me. A portion I couldn't preserve, and I want to sell them. Hi, Ruth. The problem is, I'm terrible with people. I've only ever dealt with Kalzal. I can't talk to customers without getting my trunk in a twist. So please, as silly as it might sound, will you not peddle the fish in my stead and show me how it's done? If you're willing, please let me know, and we can begin at once. You'll do it then. Show me how to deal with customers. I'm in your debt. I mean, so far I've gone to a city, I've got ethereal sickness and I've cured it, so it's going alright. It's not really had time to like build up properly yet. Hobby me? Well, I'm developing a sore throat. I think. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. I mean the Wi-Fi is sort of back. Not like properly, but it's sort of back. Right. Please try peddling my fish to, shall we say, 3 people here in Yidlimund. I will absolve you. Absolve? I will observe you and learn. Matsya is now accompanying you. Keep him at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. Okay. It seems kind of a silly idea to try selling fish to people at the, like literally at a sea town, because they could catch their own fish. It's really a hard sell. Like trying to sell ice in Antarctica, or trying to sell sand in the middle of a desert. Yes. Fish, I got fish here, fresh fish, straight from the sea's bottom to your mouth. I'm sure your bosom fish are very fresh, but this is rather sudden. I don't need any fish right now, so thanks but no thanks. But never mind. Never goes well the first time. I'm sure you'll fare better with the next customer. I won't do better with the next customer. I walked up to the man and I was like, fish! Buy the fish! And he's like, no, I do not want the fish. I'm like, buy the fish! And he's like, I do not need the fish, please stop trying to sell me the fish. And I'm like, buy it! Buy the fish, please! A hawker, are you? Do you sell fruit by chance? If so, I want to buy some amra. Let's say a dozen. They don't need to be export quality. Need so many amra for? Why, for eating, of course. It may seem like a lot, but later I go through that much in no time at all. I'm a stock taker by trade, but with no vessels coming these days, it's beginning to pile up. By the same token, nothing is coming in from overseas, but not a day goes by that someone doesn't come asking when the next shipment's arriving for this and that. It wears me down. I find myself feeling constantly hungry. Are you sure you're actually hungry? You know, when you think on it, I'm not so sure. Rather than hungry, perhaps I've been feeling unfulfilled. I try to fill the void by gorging on food I like. Take care not to overeat. I'll try not to, thank you. It's just best if, it's for the best you don't sell fruit. Still, enjoy that chat. Take my mind off the troubles for the moment. Never mind. If nothing else, you left her with a positive impression. Let's move on to the north side of town, shall we? I'm sorry, Elephant Man, I failed to make 2 sales. I just feel bad exploiting someone's thing to sell fish. They seem to be a stress eater and I don't want to do it. What is it? If you don't mind, I'm rather busy. Oh, God, my stomach. Ugh. Ether sickness? No, nothing that's so unusual. In my hurry to get back to work, I just ate a little too quickly. Take it easier. Eat more slowly and save your food. Not that I could, but I can't afford to be idle. Like it's not, circumstances will surely get worse before they get better. So I'm working as hard as I can. Well, I still can. The better to be prepared. How do you intend to prepare? By stockpiling supplies for that. I need to earn coins so I can buy food, medicine and what have you. How about some fresh fish for your supplies? A fresh car? Aye, well, fish would be bad, but I don't want to go through the hassle of preserving them myself. I'd rather buy stuff that's ready to store. I'm afraid I'll have to pass on your fish. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must be getting back to work. Another no sale. Too bad we couldn't make a sale, but we did manage to build something of a relationship. Thank you so much for your demonstration. It was truly an eye-opening experience. Come, let's return to the pier. Yeah. So, Elephant Man asked me for help, and I have provided no help at all. I've got to say, I don't like this following system that they have. Thank you so much for showing me how to talk to customers. Though you didn't manage to sell any fish in the end, the way you fearlessly approach strangers gave me so much courage. When I peddle my wares, I'll remember your example and endeavour to be fearless too. Still, there is only so much I can do alone. I hope that things will return to normal for Kazal soon. Thought I heard a familiar voice. Oh, I thought I heard a familiar voice. And who should it be but Matzia? Kazal, have you finished your business at the guild? So, you were there too. Forgive me, try as I might, I can't find any buyers. With no ships coming in, hardly any going out, simply aren't any options. At this rate. So, you can't buy my fish anymore? I'm sorry, Matzia, I truly am, but for now you must peddle your own goods. But by myself, I can't. I want to help you, but as it stands, I can barely help myself. I poured my all into the consortium, and I'll be damned if I let it fall apart. Friends and families depending on me, I won't fail them. The sisters as my witness. That's all. But not to worry, using what I've learned from you, I'm sure I'll manage somehow. Well, I had best return to my village. My thanks again, and please, take care on the road. See, it'd probably been better had I not bought like the 530 stuff. Oh well, at least I'll be able to upgrade my shoes. These cross things. I see you've been busy. I shall learn a tidbit or two, I trust. I see. We also heard that the tower is affecting many locals' livelihoods. But to think that it would be to such an extent. For another notable, if not wholly unexpected discovery, disappearances and kidnappings are disturbingly commonplace. As before, the culprits are most certainly tempered Imperial soldiers. And as before, they mean to use the faith of their hapless thralls to create, call forth a lunar primal. Business as usual for the Telephroi. Nice, nice. Yeah, our unlucky depend on how you felt about it. That misty fellow you were helping, he's Axadora, is he not? Apparently it is almost exclusive his people are being kidnapped. Could he be travelling alone? If something is the perpetrator's aim, it doth stand to reason that Axadara would be the primary targets. It is the faith of their ancestors which prevaileth in this land, and many are devout adherents still. Alright, Ruth, get you there, have fun. Let's go after him. Achiali lies to the west, as I recall. Same direction as Kral's acquaintance, incidentally. Settled then. Keep your eyes peeled for when we make for the village. I didn't mean to click on that. Crap was that? Oh, someone's slapping some training dummies around. I don't see Mancy nearby, but the elevated ground up ahead may provide a better vantage point. Chickens! Those things are massive. I've got red eyes, I don't like it. You do not see Matsia from here either. No, leave me alone. Someone help. Matsia's voice came from the north. Do it. Hold X, that way we can actually target them. Huh? Where did they go? Why are you here? I see you found him in time. When your friends came to look for me, I don't know how to thank you. On my way home I took a moment to stop and rest. Think about what to do about, well, everything. And then those men came. Kidnappers. We heard that the Axadara were being targeted. Surely you have as well. Perhaps it's best you took refuge in the city. We've considered it, me and the others, but fishing is all we know. The ocean is all we have. I see. It's your decision to make, but you should take care not to travel alone. Question, if I may. It is our understanding that strange fiends have emerged from the tower. What canst thou tell us of these beings? Not much, I'm afraid. I have no idea what they are. But I've heard some bear an unsettling resemblance to our divinities. For that reason, some have taken to calling the tower Zot, House of Divinities in the old tongue it means. They're not true divinities, they're monstrous imitations that bring only death. To have one's faith twisted is a grievous indignity, and full justified art thou in thine outrage. Know that it is for no purpose but to neutralize the tower that we have journeyed to this land. In time we may be forced to contend with these false gods, and thus we would learn all we may about them. Wilt thou not tell us of thy divinities and their true nature? You've come all this way to save us? Really? Do you think I had you peddling fish? But to answer your question, yes, of course. We would gladly tell you about our gods. We, I say, because I am a terrible storyteller, and I'd ask my fellow villagers to do it. So please, come with me to our village. We're good, gods-fearing folk, all of us. We'd be honoured to share our knowledge. And fish? What sayest thou? Will we pay a visit to Akiali? Wonderful. Just follow the road west and down the hill. You can't miss it. We got fish for days. So, it is the simulacra of Thavnarian gods that are being summoned. Any doubt existed before, there can be none now. The kidnapped Harnish are imprisoned in the tower. Pray that we will be able to save them. Though indeed, saving them would mean confronting their false gods. Like as not. As you said, we'll do well to study their religious traditions. To a galley. Yeah. Ooh, Ethertron. I lost chat for a second there. Luckily, I have not actually missed anything. That's good. Welcome to Akiali, my friend. The name which means white beach. And there isn't much here save that. But please make yourself at home. Your companions have already begun talking to everyone. Feel free to show yourself around and do the same. Any of us can tell you about our god, but you could do worse than to start with Kanga and old Hasveda. They're free at the moment as it happens. Now then, would that be Kanga or would that be Hanga? You wish to know about our gods? What a curious visitor you are. Most want fish. In any case, I am happy to oblige. Now, I don't know how it is, whence you hail, but our isle is home to many gods. They can be divided into two groups. The Manusia, beings of wisdom who assume the form of men, and the Mirka, beings of might who assume the form of beasts. Together they are divinities, their forms and personalities many and varied. Some are kind and gentle, others stern and temperamental, just like we mortals can be. All are possessed of great insight and experience. And I read that wrong. I'll start that again because I felt I read that wrong. All are possessed of great insight and experience, and by heeding their teachings, we may strive to be better people and live better lives. Interested in learning about our gods, you say? That's what I'd like to hear. Prick up your ears then, and listen. In ancient times, the Manusia and Mirka, deities who look like men and beasts respectively, were locked in conflict, eventually seeking the wisdom of the Manusia. The Mirka cast aside their own heads and took up those of their foe. Likewise, the Manusia coveted the might of the Mirka, and they too resolved to trade heads. Thus were born new gods possessed of both might and wisdom. They ushered in an age of harmony between the two factions. From then on, as a sign of their esteem for one another, the Manusia have worn animal faces and the Mirka the limbs of men. Alrighty. There you are. Learned a thing or two about our gods, I trust. While you were off talking with the others, I remembered something that may be of interest. If you could let your friends know, I'll go fetch it from my home at once. Apologies for the wait. I wish to show you this hanging scroll which depicts 3 of our most revered deities. By all means, we should like to see it. They are Manusia. You heard about them already, yes? 3 sisters. I'm pretty sure we faced these in, or at least you get them as a summon in Final Fantasy X-2. The center one is the eldest, Sindaruva, a goddess of wisdom. For this, alchemists hold her in the highest. To her right is the middle sister, Sandaruva. As goddess of wealth, she counts many traders among her followers. And on her left is Mindaruva, the youngest sibling. She presides over the crafts and is so beloved, by weavers. Although each is worshipped for different reasons, the sisters are usually portrayed together in these works, which people keep in their homes for good fortune. Like fashion to the Manusia, The deities of Eorzea preside over a myriad of aspects of life. And what of the Mirga, if I may ask? The Mirga hold power over nature in ages past. They were revered as guardian deities in times of conflict. You have occasion to visit our temples and ruins. You will find their images there. Among them is a god who possesses a Garja's head, and he is venerated as the progenitor of the Arcasadara. And then there are dragons. They occupy a special place in our history. You worship dragons too. It's said that an ancestor of the Satrap, that's the ruler of Razatan, forged a covenant with the dragon divinity in ancient times. This divinity has since acted as the guardian deity of the Satrap. Legend holds that if the Satrap is in need, his dragon ally will fly to his aid. Dragon ally? You claim to be a terrible storyteller, but nothing could be further from the truth. The passion you bear for your faith is plain to hear. I'm confident that the information you've given us will serve us well in our efforts to deal with the tower. It is very kind of you to say. Thank you. I will pray for your success. Right, I believe it's time we sought out Kral's acquaintance. An alchemist by the name of Nidhana. According to Kral's notes, we had to find her at a place called the Great Work, further north along the coast. Right, I like the quest hand-in sound, but I don't like the quest pick-up sound. Did you say you're going to see Nitana? Oh, how I envy you. He's brilliant and beautiful, kind and understanding. And did I say she's beautiful? Could stare at her dainty ears and adorable trunk all day. And those eyes. When you meet her, take care you don't drown in them. Alright. Yeah, that tower seemed a lot closer than it apparently is. Now part of me wants to take that route up there, but I'm confident that this is the entry to the town. Hey look, it's Carrie Poppins again. This don't look good.
What happened here?
Their dress marks them as alchemists. I see no evidence of injury or poison.
Thinkest thou they but slumber?
I believe so. Whether it is by choice is another question entirely.
Oh, we have guests.
You must excuse the poor welcome. Long days and longer nights have taken their toll.
as you can see. I am Vashan, servant to the Satrap. My task was, in fact, to wake these good men and women, if you will allow.
He's the dragon.
People of the Great Work, I come bearing new scales.
Scales? We have new scales?
Yes, my friends. Gather round. I have them right here.
Now I can continue my experiment.
Many thanks.
One for me.
Those are dragon scales.
Yes, such materials are vital to their most pressing research.
And we are fortunate to have them. Our experiments are so close to bearing fruit. Soon we will have a talisman capable of nullifying the etheric emissions from that accursed tower. Did I say something wrong? Are you not here with Varshan? Wait, who are you people? Of course! You're the one Kryl sent. The warrior of light we've been waiting for.
Ah, this is a day of celebration. Praise be to Cinderova!
The winds have shifted. I feel it. The end to our toil is near.
I feel it too. My head hasn't been this clear in days.
Tell me, how did you acquire those scales?
Curious that it concerns you, sir. But worry not. They were freely given by the dragon with whom our satrap has forged a lawful pact.
That is well.
You must be quite familiar with Dragon King, yes?
Is this their congealed blood I see on your weapon?
Speaking of dragon blood, you yourself have been infused with it, have you not? I should like to draw a file over you soon.
Now, see here. Come along, come along. I must insist that you visit our laboratory.
Cease your shoving, or so help me.
Palestinian.
Oh dear, your poor companion. What with the new scales and your timely arrival, my colleagues are a little giddy with excitement. No harm will come to him, I promise. Meanwhile, shall we find a quiet place to talk?
I think we should rescue
As you may
Estinian
have guessed,
first.
I am Nidana, the alchemist who sent a request to your mistress Kryl. We have workshops across the nation collaborating on this research project. But it is here, at the Great Work, where I collate our results. Come with me, all of you, and I can explain the crux of the situation.
Palestinian. He's gone. He's gone. We've lost him. We'll just get rid of that. Unlock this ether, right? And then we can go talk to Etana again. I reckon the little lad that popped up is a dragon. Or some that's been fed dragon blood, so they can turn into a dragon. And it's them that keeps giving the scales. Alternatively, the ruler has a dragon sort of like enslaved. Is one or the other. Allow me to thank you for answering our call. Many towers have appeared around the world, and we are grateful that you would assist us with ours. Though Kryle herself is tied up with another investigation, Sanctity is eminently capable substitute, and will spare no effort to aid you. So, if I understand correctly, you seek to make a talisman that can nullify the etheric emissions. Indeed we do. As you know, the talisman emits vast concentrations of ether. One cannot go anywhere near it without being tempered. As such, we can only study the tower from afar, and are powerless to deal with it in any consequential way. In order to strike back, the satrap bade his alchemists create enchanted talismans. Talismans that would allow our soldiers to venture into the tower even should they lack innate protection. Could such a thing be possible? Admittedly, we are still in the midst of testing, but we are quite confident. Even prior to this, our peoples have long pursued countermeasures against etheric corruption of primals. Of the methods tested to date, those utilizing dragon scales prove the most promising. Owing to their etheric density, the scales are highly resistant to disruptive forces. The mightier the dragon, the greater the resistance. We seek to amplify this protective property through our alchemy. Thanks to the scales provided by His Excellency, we have been able to make steady progress with the talisman. Soon we'll be ready to conduct a field test. And here is where you and your blessing of light come in. What exactly do you need me to do? Nothing complicated, I assure you. We ask only that you serve as an escort. I'll explain in greater detail later. But you will venture into the tower's field of influence. And so, for your own safety, I would first test how well your blessing shields you. With your permission, of course. In that case, Ryanja and I will find other ways to make ourselves useful. Seeing as you work to the point of collapsing, I suspect you could do with more hands. We'll be grateful for the assistance you can provide. If you are ready, let's put your blessing to the proof. If you exit the great work, then turn south. There will be a hill to the right. I'll meet you at the top after some preparations. I'll be honest, I've already forgotten which way they said to go. I'm assuming they said to go right. I definitely remember reading right. Fair enough. Casual siren, sorry about that. Hope you didn't have trouble finding this place, or climbing the hill, and are accustomed to the physical strain. I give you the fruit of our sweat, tears, and many sleepless nights, the drunken Deepa. Deepa is a lantern presented to the gods as an offering. Taking inspiration from tradition, I created this device to test the talisman's efficacy. Upon activation, it will move a certain distance before emitting a powerful blast of ether. In lieu of corruption, Those lacking sufficient protection will experience severe ether sickness. For your test, you'll be exposed 4 times. That should be enough to test your blessing's protective capability. Please begin whenever you're ready. I shall observe from a safe distance. Commencing etheric exposure testing. Repeat. Commencing etheric exposure testing. Retreat to a safe distance if you are not the test subject. Reading ether. Please stand back. Reading ether. Please stand back. How far away is it wanting me to go? Like, ready to discharge. Warning, discharging ether. You're struck by a powerful blast of ether, but suffer no ill effects. Subject has no irrepressible urge to empty their stomach. Confirmed. Resuming test, please follow. Reading ether. Please stand back. Ready to discharge. Yum. Warning. Discharging ether. Struck by another powerful blast of ether, but suffer no ill effects. Subject stomach and bowel integrity holding. Confirmed. Resuming test. Please follow. Please stand back. Subject, please gather near. I feel like this is trying to train me for a fight that's coming up. You are struck by another powerful blast of ether, but suffer no ill effects. The blessing of light appears to be keeping you safe from harm. And the final. Subject fortitude rated. Impressive. No irregularities. Confirmed. Resuming test. Please follow and brace for final discharge. Resuming ether. Please stand back. Wow! You're struck with the strongest blast of ether yet, but survived completely unscathed. Your exposure testing concluded. Please collect and deliver me to the supervising alchemist. Congratulations on retaining your composure, and you're humorous. Ah, you've returned. And not on your knees. A promising sign, but come, let me take the deep out of your hands. Thank you. I shall replenish its ether for when we test the talisman. So, no dizziness or nausea or anything of the sort? You feeling perfectly fine? The strength of your blessing is beyond doubt. There is no risk that the tower will corrupt your ether. With this, we can request your aid for the task ahead with easy hearts. You're a capable warrior too, are you not? Would you be amenable to assisting me in another errand? You see, our talismans require the use of a special ink, but we have exhausted our stores of a key ingredient for it, spirit weed. The herb grows not far from here. I'd like to go harvest some. The recent spate of kidnappings, however, we Arkasodara travel alone at our peril. You not come with me as my escort. I'll compensate you for the troubles, of course. I mean, you're dead. Without further ado, let us head to Kajaya's footsteps. It is situated on the road which runs east of the Great Work. Sorry, I struggled so much with that word because I've kind of just adapted to the J sometimes being a Y sound, so my brain's like, that might be a Y. But no, I'm pretty sure it's a J. It's more of a G as opposed to a E. The Cursed Kalabuti. I may simply be imagining it, but I feel as though we're being followed. Look out! We are being followed, that's why. There we go, sword. Gods, that gave me a fright. To think that the moment I ventured outside the safety of the work. Like the sisters asked you to come with me. You're all right, I hope? Good, good. Let's continue on. Isn't far now. Just through these pillars and up the rise. Next go back. And here we are, Kajaya's footsteps. Kajaya was a great dancer, and those who follow in her, well, you know. They come to this place to train and dedicate their dance to their ancestor. The happy benefit of this is that the spirit wheat grows here in abundance. I will set about harvesting at once. If you will be so good as to stand guard, kidnappers aren't likely to return soon, but better safe than sorry. Birds. Oh, not one bird. Other statues, like Mikote. I'm not sure what the others are. Think I'd need to fly to check that out. Alright.
Yes, that would be Radzat Han. Hardly anyone has been allowed in or out since our troubles with the tower began. The faithful citizens huddle inside the city walls, and commerce has all but ground to a standstill. I pity the satrap, the trials he must be facing.
What can you tell me of the satrap?
Well, he is the most important person in Radzat Han. Long ago, this island was home to two tribes of Matanga, the Gajasura and the Arkasodra. When the Aura came to these shores, it was the Arkasodra with whom they joined forces. Together they defeated the warlike Gajasura, forcing them to flee Thavnair altogether. Peace and prosperity reigned for a time, until a clan of Hjord from the mainland decided they wanted the island for themselves. It was a direct ancestor of the present satrap who arbitrated that conflict and welded the warring factions into the nation we know today. And ever since, a member of that esteemed lineage has inherited this somewhat unique position. You see, by and large, the state is run by the people, but when problems arise, it is the satrap who mediates the solution. The stability provided by the satrap is what has allowed Radzat Han to thrive all these years. And it was the satrap himself who entrusted us with this duty. We will not fail him, nor our country.
What is the delay with the vessel? I told you I need to adjust those ratios.
I come all this way to admire one of my splendid towns, and what do I find? Fools attempting to ward off its tempering influence with magic trinkets. I seem to recall a similar experiment in ages past. What was that man's name? Oh, something. Owen?
Another body, another time. Who could be expected to remember every trivial detail? Allowing them to construct such handy talismans would be counterproductive to my plans. And yet, I find myself deathly curious. How will they manage this feat with the limited knowledge and resources at their disposal? Complications be damned. For we cannot escape the nature of our souls. And I, as ever, am my own worst enemy.
I have enough spirit weed to last us a good while. Thank you for keeping watch. Let's head back to the great work, shall we? Teleport back there makes it a bit quicker to deal with, doesn't it? My thanks again for your assistance. With your help, we're a little bit closer to completing our talisman. This isn't much, but please accept it as a token of my gratitude. If you'll excuse me, I should return to my work on the talisman. Ah, you're both back. Excellent. I have a message for you, Mistress Nidhana. It seems the stores of Giant Skull are running low. Oh, when I last looked, there was still plenty. I suspect that was before Urianger told everyone about the tempering cure. The Stinian shared his knowledge of dragons. Your peers have since inspired to fashion a number of new talisman prototypes. I see. Well, if it leads to new possibilities, then far be it from me to complain. But we will need to replenish our stores. I should be happy to tend to this if you like. As much as I appreciate the offer, my dear boy, I can't in good conscience send you out there alone while kidnappers are at large. Although I am to press another task on you so soon, might I ask you to fetch a giant skull? In case you're not familiar, giant skull is a type of ore found on the island. Owing to its hardness and ethereal conductivity, it has applications in many disciplines, alchemy not least of all. The quarry where it's found, aptly named Giant Skull Grounds, isn't far away, so it shouldn't take much of your time. May we impose upon you once more? Thank you. Upon arriving at the grounds, please seek out a man named Zenuha. He will furnish you with the ore. At the very least, permit me to accompany you. So happens I have an errand of my own that will take me to the outpost nearby. May we borrow a pair of Hamsa, Mistress Nidhana? By all means. Do try to be patient with them. Those that survived are still in training. I'll bring the Hamsa to the entrance. Meet me there when you are ready. The crap's a Hamsa. So, I don't know. Is it a bird? Is it equine? Is it avian? Is it a hamster? Oh. It is a bird. Here are a hamster. If the creatures look familiar, it's because they are close kin to your Eosian dodos. Hamster have long been kept as livestock in Thavner. Many a hatchery has been may be found here. Alas, the largest of these was recently raised by monsters from the tower, on account of said hatchery being situated near the tower. The Radiant Host repurposed its remnants as an outpost. That is where my errand takes me, and your own destination is but a stone's throw away. If you have no objections, let's make for the outpost. Set forth your word. You ready? Then let's depart. You need only ride and relax. My bird and I will take the lead for yours to follow. Let's be off. If you haven't ridden dodos before, be warned. Have a wobbling gait. That looks extremely uncomfortable, not gonna lie. That spectacular formation stretching out over the water is called a Khadgar, a word that means sword. This sword, legend holds, was wielded by the Manusia against the Mirga before it was cast down at conflict's end. The left, and requiring no introduction, is a tower. As you can see, it straddles a small island. Almost there, but the main part of the hatchery is atop the cliff. The outpost itself is on the beach. We seem very close to this tower. I'd be surprised if people aren't tempered here. And here we are, manned by the Radiant Host. This outpost is our first line of defense against the tower. Well, well, who should it be but young Varshan, on an errand for the Satrap? I am. His Excellency bade me to come collect your report. He also wished to express his heartfelt gratitude to the brave men and women of the Radiant Host for their unflagging dedication. We simply do our duty. We are honored to receive His Excellency's regard. And yet... Sorry. And yet, for his boundless benevolence, his treatment of one so young could be regarded as callous. Though we have enjoyed relative peace and calm in these few days, this remains the front line of battle, no place for children. Our predecessor too often travelled alone. It's been, what, 2 years now since you took over? I wonder how the fellow is faring. Like those before him, he went on to represent the satrap in foreign lands, where he may now be. I am certain he is well. As for myself, I assure you that all I do of my own volition, and gladly. I pray you do not think ill of His Excellency. Certainly not, lad. Whatever happens, my faith in the satrap is unwavering, but I still worry for you. We would be overcome with sadness for something to befall you. You are as a little brother to us all. Take care, do you hear? I will, not Nabdeen. Thank you. And who might this be? Not Harnish by the looks of him. Permit me to introduce Samtedi Tragus of the Eosian contingent, and to assist in the making of a talisman. From Eosia, you say? Tales appeared over there too, yes? Tell me, what's the situation like? May I suggest that you exchange information with our soldiers? Both parties would stand to learn something of value, I believe. An excellent idea. Given the unprecedented nature of the threat, some of us are understandably anxious. I'd be glad for any tidings you can share. You two, bring Varshan the latest report and answer any questions he may have. I've heard about you, the visitor from Eosia. Is there anything you can tell us about the Telophoroi? We know that they're the ones behind the tower and that they've declared war on the whole world. But why are they doing this? What is it they want? This we don't understand. What? They want to die and take everyone with them? What madness is this? Well, you can bet that we won't let those bleeps have their way. We'll fight them with everything we have, like our Eosian and Far Eastern brothers. Do you wish to know about the tower? To be honest, we know little and less about it ourselves. This Tower of Zot, as folks have taken to calling it, suddenly appeared where it did, on the Isle of Narunair. We're safe from its influence at this distance, but go too far into the water and you'll expose yourself to its corrupting ether. You're a foreigner, aren't you? How are they dealing with the tower in your homeland? Our struggles are not unique. Then our hopes still lie with the talisman. We must keep the monsters contained until they're ready. Yara Nabdeen. It occurs to me I've yet to properly introduce our company. We are the Radiant Host, a military order under the Satrap's command. Our duty is to preserve peace of the land, be it patrolling the streets or dealing with dealing with heretofore unknown threats such as now. We train hard and admit only capable warriors into our ranks. Even so, we've struggled to contend with the fiends from the tower. Though we succeeded in striking them down for the 2 occasions they came in force, we had to pay a heavy price. What of the towers in Eorzea? Did they likewise spawn monsters? So it's much the same everywhere. With every nation struggling, we cannot expect calls for outside aid to be answered. You're speaking with the soldiers, have you? I hope it was as enlightening for you as it was for them. As a neutral nation and trading hub both, Radzat Han ordinarily receives a steady stream of news from abroad. Alas, this stream dried up when the trading vessels stopped coming. Amidst the dearth of information, everyone will have been grateful for your account. But come, we'd best see to your original errand, as mine will keep me here a while longer. However, I'm afraid I cannot guide you the rest of the way. Roundabout, the path is straightforward, but you need but follow the road east. Upon the Hamsa, you'll arrive before you know it. Brief though it was, I enjoyed our time together. Till we meet again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this one here, this little kid, I'm pretty sure that they're a dragon. Though the Hamsa appears to want to return home, it reluctantly offers you its back. Should you become separated from your steeds, speak with a Radiant Beastkeeper at the Hamsa hatchery to mount it again. Away we go! Meow. I said to follow the path and I've just gone like completely off the path, but I'm heading in the right direction, so it's fine. Oh, there's buildings over there, perfectly fine. Yeah. Like, I don't think it'll be like the dragon anymore. I think it might be maybe one of its oh, it told me that I needed to ride it in. Oh, I'm an idiot. I thought we were just having to ride it to there because it was a quicker way. I'm an idiot. Yeah, I think it might be like one of the offspring of that dragon. I don't know, maybe through alchemy or something it's able to take another form. Oh, that's handy. If not a big dragon, definitely a little dragon. So we're just gonna have to write this again, because I didn't actually read the quest text and it says to write it into that. So I can't just like rock up and be like, hi guys, I've got to rock up on this specifically. No sooner do you arrive at your destination than your hamster dashes off. Really? Aye, this is indeed the Giant Skull grounds. I am Zenuha. Is this something you require? Giant Skull for the alchemist, you say? Well, of course they shall have it. They labour tirelessly to deal with that tower. It's the least we can do to provide them with all the materials they need. Here you are, a sack of the purest giant skull. I always set some aside for the alchemist's friends. For our alchemist friends. Pardon me. May deliver it. Let the good folk at the great work, and that we're grateful for their efforts. If they need more, they need but ask. And back we go. And he waddled away, waddle, and he waddled away, waddle, waddle, and he waddled away, waddle, 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 till the very next day. Bum, 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 bum. Ah, welcome back. Dare I hope that you have the giant skull? Oh my, such fine specimens. Thank you so much for bringing these. We now have everything we need to make our next prototype. Well, it should be capable of passing our most rigorous tests. When it's ready, it'll be time for the true test, so please take your ease while you can. I heard the music, and like legit, all that popped in my mind was do 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 do. I'm gonna get visited by Heidlin again.
I see our taskmasters have allowed you a moment's respite as well. We have to hand it to these alchemists. They are determined to see this endeavor of theirs succeed. I've never been one for blind optimism, but I sincerely get the sense they're close to a breakthrough.
They had better be, or all this effort was for naught.
The peoples of Eorzea, of the Far East, of Thavner, children of this star united in common cause against a dire threat. Yet ere they succumbed to suicidal madness, were not the Telophoroi born of her body as were we? They who cling to life and the promise of the morrow's dawn, against they who desire death and an ending of their own orchestration. The victors of this war alone will hold the right to answer the question of existence, of its meaning, and its worth.
Poetic and ominous to a fault. That said, if it's an existential debate in nature, then our arguments might not be as persuasive as you'd think. Fandaniel wants to die and take everyone with him in an orgy of pain and suffering. An utterly vile and unforgivable idea. And yet, when spat upon by fate and wailing in the deepest pit of despair, who among us can say they have not entertained similar thoughts? There are nights black as pitch, bereft of hope. No words of comfort can reach you. And it's all you can do to grit your teeth and choke back the bile.
The more you see him suffer life's injustices, the more difficult they become to bear. Vengeance is nurtured in similar soil. Though your anger has a broader focus, the sentiment is much the same. A fervent desire to destroy others, to see them drown in torment, as you have.
That about sums it up. The will to endure is not always as strong as the urge to burn it all down and salt the earth. Survival be damned. It's a struggle, often close and brutal.
Indeed. Well, I, for one, shall pray survival proveth more appealing in the end.
As will I. Besides, our chances are much improved when we've the company of others committed to the cause of life. Our vengeful Dragoon here is proof of that. What is it? What did you see? Fandaniel. Are you sure? If he knows we've been working on a countermeasure.
It holds. The vessel holds! This is the one!
At long last! Look! We have finally created a talisman strong enough to withstand our experiments! We've named it a warding scale for the time being. With this in your possession, your soul should be completely shielded from corruptive ether.
Afforded such protection, any one of us may approach the towers without fear. Thou hast mine admiration. 'Tis an invention of historical significance.
Thank you for your kind words. But I would prefer you keep them unsaid until we test the talisman's efficacy in the field. It is for the next stage of our plan that we summoned you in the first place, to accompany me to the Tower of Zot. Should the scale prove effective, as I very much hope it will, then you'll have little to do. But should the effect be weaker than anticipated, I must ask that you restrain me, or knock me senseless.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Either way, we are fortunate to have you with us.
Nadana,
Are you certain you wish to do this?
If others are to trust our creations, then we must have faith in them first. And as the senior researcher, it falls to me to lead by example. But should I fail to return, then learn what you can from this attempt and apply it to the next. Our work must continue. Is that clear?
We'll keep an eye on the place while you're away. Assuming Fandaniel is lurking about, there's no telling what mischief he has in mind for us, or you, beyond your guard.
Shall we be on our way? I'll have one of the soldiers at the hatchery prepare us a boat, and we can set out from the northern shore. I'll see you then.
Right, I'll be completely honest with you. I am feeling a bit tired, so I might actually just call it here. I'll see if anyone's live at the moment that I can send you all over to. Which there does not seem to be. I don't know what this is, but I shall send you all over to Dodger, I think. Let's double check that I'm actually spelling this right. Yeah. They're playing something called Vampire Survivors. I have no idea what it's about or anything, so whatever it is, hope it's cool, hope you have a good time, and I shall catch you tomorrow with Monster Hunter. Bye now.